Big Sonic, I got a super duper important question to ask you, Big Sonic. Oh no, what is it now? Small Sonic, what do you want to ask me now? Big Sonic, why do bad things happen, Big Sonic? Why do bad things happen? And is there a way to prevent bad things from happening, Big Sonic? Small Sonic, bad things happen merely because the way the universe is, the fact that there are like diseases and parasites that can cause us great deals of suffering, the fact that we have free will and we choose to do bad things to each other over petty feuds and rivalries. Alright, Big Sonic, that might explain a lot, but still, why is there like so much suffering? Why does suffering even exist? Is there like a reason behind why suffering exists? Small Sonic, suffering maybe is like just you're right, it is like inevitable, I guess. It's like a fundamental part of this reality. But why is it the fact that we can even experience pain and suffering, Big Sonic? What's going on here, Big Sonic? Good evening! And this is going to be a new series that I'm making on my YouTube channel called Philosophy Class. And in this series, I'm going to be talking about philosophy and all sorts of philosophical things. And in this episode, going to be talking about the problem of evil. Can the problem of evil be solved? Give me a quick second, I just got to check on something. Yeah. How do we solve the problem of evil? How do we solve the problem of evil? Can the problem of evil be solved? That is what's on the list. That is what's on the agenda. That's what's on the menu for this video. I'm going to be talking about the problem of evil, bro. And the problem of evil is very, very fucking serious. So many religious people, theologians, whatever you want to call them, people that claim to be Christians, Muslims, Jews, predominantly, they believe in a God. They believe in a higher power. They believe that God made everything in us and he loves us to death and he wants the best for us. Bro, if that's the case, why do people die of fucking diseases and cancer? Why do kids get killed in famines and wars? There's so much going wrong in this world. Why do animals have to tear each other apart in the wild? Why is there so much cruelty on like such an insane level in this reality that we're living in this world that we're in? Why is just constant hardship, suffering always with us? No matter what we do, we're always prone to like disease, suffering, and eventually death. It's inevitable, and it is like fundamentally a part of this like reality and world that we're living in. But why is that the case? Why is there so much like horrible shit in this world, bro? Stuff that will make your head spin. Why is this world so fucking cruel, evil, vindictive, malicious? There's like fucking so much shit going wrong in this world, bro. I can't even like properly articulate all the cruelties, all the suffering that goes on in this world. Think about this right for a second now. Think about this right now in your head. Imagine like all the animals in like Africa killing each other just to stay alive, bro. Like the predatory food chain. There's just so much going wrong in this world, and I've always like wondered to myself, like, why is it the case that there's so much cruelty? Why do animals have to eat each other in the wild and kill each other in obscene ways? Why is it that cancer, diseases exist, parasites exist? Why would God make so much cruelty on purpose? Small Sonic, maybe the fact is that suffering, we developed the ability to experience suffering merely just so we can survive and understand what's going wrong with our bodies. It might be some sort of evolutionary mechanism, Small Sonic. But Big Sonic, why is suffering even possible in this reality? Why isn't it the fact that we can't experience anything negative at all? Why do we have any sort of like pain receptors and negative feelings? Maybe it's just the way the world is, Small Sonic. Maybe we experience suffering for the sake of experiencing suffering because there has to be some sort of benefit. I don't know. Big Sonic, what about a world without suffering and evil and plagues and hardships? What would that world look like? That would be paradise, Small Sonic. Why can't we be in paradise then, Big Sonic? Small Sonic, maybe it's because we create our own problems because we're given free will and we choose to do the wrong things. So, Big Sonic, if we chose to do the right things, would the world be a paradise? Who the hell knows? Like, some people might argue, like, the problem of evil. Some people might come in and say, bro, You need black to understand white. It's like duality, bro. It's like you need to see, you need negativity to understand positivity, and it's to test our morality and ethics, and so we can grow as human beings. Bro, that's a load of bullshit. That's always the most common retort. Free will is like the most common retort most religious people will present to you. Most theologians, they'll tell you that, okay, you might go up to them and say, bro, like, there's a lot of bad shit going on in this world. There's cancer, diseases, there's people dying in wars and conflicts. You'll go through all like the nitty gritty of like all the fucked up shit that occurs in this world, and someone else might come to you and say, but free will, like most Christians and Muslims, they will retort to you by saying the reason suffering and evil exists and the reason parasites and etc. exists is for like character development, is to test our ethics and morality, is so that we become better and we can navigate the world as God wanted us to. And how are you supposed to enjoy like good without evil, like black without white? We need some sort of dualism to like maintain our free will. And even though like the free will retort is also very interesting, that evil exists because of like the fact that us human beings, we have free will. We have like the ability to choose, to delineate between choices, and some of us choose to do the wrong things, some of us choose to do the right things. Bro, free will doesn't even play into this, because I'll tell you why. Because like cancer, diseases, parasites, that is not even a part of like the free will equation, bro. People don't choose to get cancer. They don't choose to get diseases. They don't choose to get born with Down syndrome. And so how do you solve the free will dilemma? Not the free will dilemma, that's for another video topic idea. My brain's turning to mush. I meant to say, how do you solve like the problem of evil, which is like a deep philosophical conundrum that goes back to like Epicurus, I believe, in Greece, ancient Greece. He was like deep into this, and he was thinking about like the problem of evil. He was realizing that there's so much cruelties and God doesn't seem to care, and maybe God even set this world up in such a way that we're all going to suffer. Who the hell knows about that, Small Sonic? You're right, if we all chose to do the right thing, to be more charitable, helpful, maybe the world could be a better place. But Big Sonic, why is the world so atrocious to live in? Why is there so much cruelties and hardships and diseases and sickness and parasites? Small Sonic, maybe it's because the world is just set up in a way where we're meant to like overcome these hardships for a greater good. But Big Sonic, what is the greater good of people dying of cancer and suffering immensely? What's the purpose behind it all? Small Sonic, you're asking very pedantic questions that are very difficult for me to articulate and answer for you, and I'm just as ignorant as you are, Small Sonic, and maybe perhaps there might not be any sort of grandiose explanation for why this existence of suffering is real and why we have to suffer so immensely in all sorts of ways. Big Sonic, why do we suffer at all? Is there any sort of point to suffering, or are we just here to suffer for no reason whatsoever? Small Sonic, you're very pedantic, you're asking these big questions that are hard for me to answer. I don't know. Suffer in some form, some way, shape or form eventually. And again, Epicurus talks a lot about the fact that, bro, all of these like retorts that most Christians and Muslims will tell you that, cancer, parasites, diseases, negativities exist because of character development, because we wouldn't grow otherwise, because we need it to test our development as human beings. It's all a load of shit, bro. Epicurus is like problem of evil. You should see it on the screen. This just nails everything so perfectly. That evil, there's no good reason for evil to exist in this world. It's a whole load of bullshit that like people die of cancer and diseases. There's all sorts of like cruelties. Animals are forced to consume the flesh of other dying animals. There's so much like going wrong in this world, and it's just, to me, I've always found that fucking peculiar. Like there's like so much negative shit, and most people that believe in God, they turn a blind eye to it all. They don't really consider the fact that, okay, people are dying and there's a lot of suffering going on. Isn't God in control? If God's in control, why does he allow kids to die in famines? Like, there's so much missing like nuance to like these people that believe in God, and they're like skewed, biased way of thinking. Like, bro, if God's real and he's controlling everything, what the fuck? Why do kids die in fucking famines? Why does cancer and diseases exist? Why do parasites exist? There's so much fucking going wrong here. And again, how can we solve the problem of evil? Is there even like a solution? Can you solve the problem of evil? I'm of the very strong opinion that the problem of evil is kind of like uncontested. It's something that cannot be easily reconciled and answered for. If there's so much like cruelties, negativities, horrendous shit in this world, and the people that believe and pray to God, bro, they're so naive, bro. God made everything. He made everything in this world. He made even me and you, but he also made cancer, parasites. But Big Sonic, why do people suffer so immensely? I know that it might be because we choose to do horrible things to each other because of our free will and choice and actions, but there's so much suffering that just isn't related to our own agency, like the fact that natural disasters happen, the fact that diseases and parasites exist, the fact that there's so much cruelties that exist here for no reason. It doesn't make any logical sense. Big Sonic. Small Sonic, the reason bad things happen is because this world was set up that way. The fact that cancer exists and diseases, maybe this world was designed by a maniac that wants us to be suffering in all sorts of horrible ways and for no greater purpose. So Big Sonic, we exist for just to suffer needlessly for no reason whatsoever. That might be it, Small Sonic. And we're just endlessly going to suffer for no greater good, and it might just be a tragedy that we're having to deal with. That sucks. And diseases exist for whatever purpose. What purpose would there be for an omnipotent, benevolent, loving, caring God to create cancer, to create diseases and parasites? For what purpose? And if you kind of like poke into this question, if you kind of intrigue yourself by this question, you'd realize that there's no fucking purpose at all. It's just needless fucking suffering that exists for no fucking purpose or reason. That's always been the case with like regarding like the problem of like suffering, the problem of evil. Like, bro, there's so much fucked up shit happening in this world. It's not even in our control. Like, people don't choose to get cancer. They don't choose to suffer immensely from diseases and hardships. A lot of it isn't even within your control, bro. You might get a tumor in your brain. Is that because you wanted to get a cancer tumor growth in your brain? No, bro, fuck no. There's so much fucked up shit in this world. And most people that believe in God, they turn such a massive blind eye to like this cruelty that is real, that exists in this world. They turn such a blind eye. They don't realize that there's like all these like negativities. And I believe a lot of Muslims, a lot of Christians would argue that, well, we need it. We need to see things in both perspectives. We need to see good and bad. We need to experience black and white. We need duality to be like fully in tune with our souls and the universe and everything. And it's for character development and morality. Bro, you're dying of cancer because God wants to test your character development, even though you don't want the cancer. There's like so much suffering in this world. Most people that are dying of like famines, disease, cancer, they don't want it, bro. It's not even about free will and that, because like, why would anyone of their own free will, of their own like choices decide to get cancer, diseases, parasites? Bro, that shit is just fucked, bro. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. I believe that God is he's either impotent, he's not all powerful and capable, or he's deliberately evil and malevolent, and he allows suffering to exist. He created diseases and all sorts of negative things just for the sake of doing. Big Sonic, I don't want suffering to be real. I want to be in a world without any sort of pain, hardships, cruelties. I want to be in paradise. Is that possible, Big Sonic? Small Sonic, paradise is a far cry. It's not something that is feasible. I don't think we'll ever manage to achieve paradise. I think we'll always be suffering immensely and dying in some sorts of ways. Suffering is a feature of this reality. Every part of what we do here is related to like avoiding suffering and pain, which seems to consume every part of our lives, despite our actions and choices. Suffering is inevitable, Big Sonic, but why is that the case? Small Sonic, suffering is like a feature of this reality and world. It's something that just cannot be avoided. We can't really escape from this cruel realm and suffering needlessly for no reason. It's quite impossible. It's impossible to deal with. So just so that we can be constantly afflicted with like hardships and we can suffer for no reason whatsoever in the end. And bro, this shit is just so dark. It's so twisted once you realize that. What if God is actually fucking evil? What if the Gnostics, which is also like, I've been doing a lot of deep research, bro, into like Gnosticism, Catharism. And if you know a thing or two about the Gnostics and the Cathars, they have like a reverse belief system of like Christianity. They believe, the Gnostics, they think that the Old Testament God is actually evil. Yahweh, Allah is evil. There's like a benevolent God that's behind everything. But he's like being like obscured away by Yahweh, by the Abrahamic God. The Abrahamic God's actually fucking evil. And that's why people are dying. There's so much suffering, even animal suffering. People have been suffering for all of our history, bro. It's just a bloodbath. It's just like constant wars and conflicts for no fucking reason. People dying with like the bubonic plague. What fucking purpose is there for that? There's just all of this like dark shit in our history, in our past, and we just don't fucking realize that God's allowing this shit to happen for no fucking reason. That people are dying, people are suffering for no fucking reason, bro. It's not even about free will, or because we need to choose the right things and the bad things. Bro, people don't choose to get cancer and diseases and parasites. Even Christians and Muslims that are like very righteous, they still suffer from diseases and sickness and cancer. Even after praying to God, they still die miserably. So how can we solve the problem of evil? I don't think we can. I think that either God's impotent or he's evil. Big Sonic, why are we suffering? Why is there so much cruelty? Why is there so much hardships? Isn't there a greater purpose behind it all? Do we suffer because of our own ignorance and stupidity, or are we suffering because we're just suffering for no reason whatsoever? Small Sonic is a combination of both. We suffer because we choose to do horrible things to each other because of our free will, and we also suffer because the world is set up that way and diseases are inevitable, hardships and conflicts are inevitable. We can't seem to escape from this like endless cycle of misery and suffering. It's just a tragedy that we cannot really escape from. It's quite unfortunate and sad, Small Sonic, that we're just endlessly going to suffer without any sort of like escape. And we're in this horrible world where we're experiencing all sorts of hardships and pains and troubles, and we don't really seem to be able to escape from it all, and it's quite scary indeed.